Bilohorivka has been pretty much obliterated. It was the village closest to the Russian leader's biggest military defeat in this war so far. And it was absolutely hammered in the weeks before. Virtually every building is torn apart, and there are the remnants of cluster bombs left exposed in the farmland around. We're taken through unmarked forest routes. The Ukrainian soldiers we're with want to avoid detection by the Russian front lines just across the river and thirsty for revenge. Very few have been allowed to see for themselves what happened on the ground here. But the graveyard of Russian combat vehicles will go down in the Ukrainian military history books, at least, as one of the Federation's most humiliating defeats.
Таке враження, що це якийсь клуб самогубців, тобто чи їхнє командування не жаліє своїх людей. Тобто отак, тобто там дивно посилають на вірну смерть, виконують якісь дурні накази свого командування.
Ukrainian military footage shows broken pontoon bridges which the Russians had built to cross the Donetsk River in order to surround Severodonetsk, the last big Ukrainian holdout in Luhansk, part of the Donbas. The footage shows Russian vehicles, some already in the river, being attacked on all sides. Russian soldiers are seen jumping from the top of their armoured vehicle into the water to escape. Certainly, the wreckage we saw indicated there'd been significant losses. The Ukrainians say hundreds of Russians were killed, although that's difficult to verify as the bodies had been cleared before we got here. Our soldier guides were hugely curious about the enemies they've slain here, going through their supplies and collecting them as memorabilia.
Russian tea. Да, трофеи.
This significant win has massively boosted their morale.
А зараз же більш-менш воно якби усі знають, де хто є, хто вони такі є, варвари тобі. І всі знають, кого треба гатити.
The ferocity of the firepower was intense, and the Ukrainians say they wiped out a whole battalion. But perhaps more long-lasting damage is what it's done to the top of the Russian Federation, because it's led to criticism that they haven't seen ever before, and that criticism is directly linked to Vladimir Putin himself. Still desperate to take Severodonetsk, that's forced changes on the Eastern Front. The citizens of Soledar, a few kilometres south, are the fresh focus of Russian firepower. There's now a huge crater on the main street. The sound is the Ukrainians responding with volleys of Grad rockets. With few shops left open and supplies running out, they cannot believe what's happening to their farming community. This used to be the theatre, but also stored some aid, and even explosions provide opportunities.
Baby food? Yes.
Most here see Russia as the aggressor, but Alex is unusual and has big doubts about exactly who's doing the bombing.
This is Ukrainians bombs here, not Russian.
You think Ukrainians bombed this?
Да.
You would prefer the war to end, and you think Russia taking this territory will lead to the end of the war?
Yes.
So you think Ukraine should give it to Russia?
Maybe. Yeah. But I see Donetsk now. I think that it's better.
To go to Russia, for it to go to Russia?
Да. Yes.
The Ukrainian president has warned that Donetsk and Luhansk, which make up the Donbas region, are being turned into hell. And this is what it looks like. The final stages of this war are likely to be the bloodiest, he's predicted. And an awful lot of blood has already been spilt here. Alex Crawford, Sky News, in the Donbas.